What's up? We're live. We're recording KOS, Knowledge of Self, episode 14. We got a very good special guest with us. Goes by the name of Soulstice. Half of great collective, part of I'm sorry, hold on. Let me get this right. Why I can oh shit. My Black Noise. I don't know why I couldn't say it. I got confused. I was gonna say Zensoul music first. But tell us a little bit about that. Give us a little insight.
Yeah, so I go by Soulstice. I'm part of a collective called Black Noise.
That's family.
You know what I mean? We're a bunch of talented MCs, producers, hailing from the IE, Pomona, California area, 909. And yeah, I'm also a part of a duo. I'm one half. We go by Zen Soul. My brother Zen Stokely is a phenomenal MC as well. And yeah, our journey started a couple years ago. But before I met him, I was, doing my thing as well. I was born into the culture of hip hop. I started as a b-boy. My mom, she had me very young, but her brother, my uncle, he's like a I don't know if he's like well known like that, but back in the day in like the LA area, he was a well known DJ. He goes by DJ Fizzed. And yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with like Far Side.
Yep, Far Side. Yep.
Freestyle Freestyle Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like their DJ for a minute.
Oh wow.
Those groups. And I don't know if this is like a random thing.
No,
but
go
like,
ahead.
I don't know if you're familiar with like Macy Gray.
No, I'm
the singer.
not.
Yeah,
No.
Macy Gray. Yeah, she was like a dope ass singer. You should look her up. I can't name a song right now. But yeah, he was like her DJ. So like when she was on MTV Cribs, if you look up Macy Gray Cribs, my uncle's chilling by the pool.
Really? Oh shit, that's crazy.
But anyway, yeah. Wow. So my mom, she was always in the culture herself. So when she had me, I just inherited everything, the lifestyle and the way of just understanding what it means to represent hip hop. So yeah, I started as a b-boy, popping and locking, doing footwork, you know what I mean,
That's
up rocks, trying to do my little power moves when I could. And then yeah, I was a b-boy up until like I was 10. I used to go to like this event called B-Boy Summit once a year in LA. And yeah, then one day like my mom took me to a Most Def concert. I don't know if y'all familiar with Most Def.
Yeah, I saw Black Star last month.
I was supposed to be there, but it's all good. But yeah, she took me to a Black Star concert, and that's when I like really fell in love with the element of emceeing because I saw how he controlled the stage, not just with like his words, but his energy and his presence.
Oh yeah.
And after that, that's when I started picking up a pen.
How old were you at that time again?
I was 10.
Okay.
I was 10. So yeah, I picked up a pen.
Age.
I picked up a pen.
How old are you right now?
I'm 22.
So you got years in the bag. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it took a lot of development. It didn't happen overnight at all. I mean, it started with just me writing down my thoughts and writing poetry, obviously. And I didn't even perform in front of anybody. I didn't show anybody anything for a while.
But you have a spoken word video out, right?
I do have a spoken word. So I graduated from the school in downtown Pomona called the School of Arts and Enterprise. Okay. It's a performing and visual arts high school, charter high school. And I went there for poetry. Okay. Like I auditioned and got in spitting spoken word. And my senior year, they had this contest. It was called Say Word Poetry Slam. And my English teacher at that time, she goes by Miss Fletcher. Shout out to her because she helped, my process. Because she said, you got potential. Now it's time to develop your skill. And so I joined the poetry club my senior year. And then later she had like a little contest. And it was about, I want to say 40 of us poets.
Damn.
That we all were in like this giant classroom. And then when your name was called, you went in the middle of the circle, spit your piece, and then came out. And there were rounds of that. And the top three, it was like judges, my teacher, and then some other poets. And the top three got to like continue on in the contest. And like the goal was to compete in this competition called Brave New Voices. It's one of like the most prestigious like poetry competitions for like young youth.
That's in LA.
Or
is it global?
It's global. So the big one is in Philly.
Okay.
It's in Philly. So
I've heard that name when
Brave
I go
New
to
Voices.
the Poetry Lounge, Brave New Voices.
Yeah. No, the Poetry Lounge.
Have you been? Have you been to?
I've been there. My mom grew up with the dude who runs it.
Shihan?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
My mom grew up with him.
So your mom's rooted.
No, my mom's rooted, bro. My mom's rooted. Yeah, she knows a lot of people. She's from Pomona as well.
Okay.
So as a kid, like I grew up in the downtown Pomona area.
Are you from down? No,
I'm not from Pomona myself.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Ontario, which is like
but that's
Pomona still. You know what I mean? So
neighborhood Pomona.
Yeah, 10 minutes away. But anyway, yeah. So I ended up making the top 3.
Okay.
I ended up making the top 3. And then the next round was in LA. It was like the top. I didn't even know that, but I guess at that time I was representing like the top 10 youth poets of SoCal or something like that, because it was high schools around SoCal. Not
Are you happy you didn't know that though?
I was happy I didn't know that until I got into the competition.
And then you're just like,
oh,
pressure, or did the pressure hit, or was it just
it wasn't pressure because it just showed that I was worthy enough to have that. You know
what, that you said that. That's smart that you said that, because that shows the mindset of where you're at. You said, I'm worthy to have this. A lot of people will trip up like, hey, I'm not supposed to be here. That pressure of there's only 3 of us, but you're like, no, I'm meant to be here. That's smart. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, when you know, for me, like knowing your worth is so important, because a lot of people, they like to get down on themselves. They don't believe in themselves. And like, you'll be amazed in what you attract when you start believing in what you deserve. And that's what I live by.
Because you really attract.
Because you really attract not what you want, but what you are.
Deserve.
So you attract what you are. So it's all about the energy you give out. You know what I mean? It's all about the presence that you give
that shit's gonna come
and representing, because it always comes right back. No matter what you give out. If you give out negative, it's negative energies, it's going to come back to you. Positive is going to come back to you. It's not rocket science. It's not something complicated. It just takes a lot of consistency and not, just knowing yourself. Like you said, knowledge yourself. So for me, like I've always battled with like knowing my worth in a way, because, especially as an artist, there's always going to be someone who you think's better than you.
Do you feel like that has to do with a lot with ego?
A lot of it has to do. I think 100% of it is ego. It's a lot of it. A lot of it's ego. And like for me, like I'm very, very humble. You're very, very humble person. Very. Like someone will come up to me after I perform and they'll be like, "Yo, like." I've had people tell me like, "You were the best performance of the night." Me and my brother, after we get done off stage. And I'll tell them like, "Nah, we all killed it."
True, that's facts. Because I've heard them say that.
Yeah, we all killed it. We all did that. I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, we all representing what we love to do. And people see that, but I don't say that for no reason.
It's the truth behind it.
There's always truth behind my words, because I don't waste time with my words. A lot of people think I'm too concise. But at the end of the day, there's a reason for that, because I don't like to get too wordy with my, with what I'm trying to say, because I feel like a lot of times people have a strong vocabulary, but they don't know how to use it. And a lot of things to go over people's heads. And I remember KRS-One said, "Your knowledge is as big as your vocabulary." So for me, my mom had me writing down vocabulary words every day. Like this was outside of school. She had me writing 5 vocabulary words a day. And that's what helped me grow as an MC and as a poet as well, because I was able to pull out different words out of my arsenal. That's what helped my skill develop even more, because a lot of people to this day, not a lot, only a few have actually caught this, but they're like, "Have you ever cursed in a verse?" And I say, "No."
I don't think you have.
Ever. I've never cursed in a verse.
I don't think you ever will.
And I probably won't, because I don't have to.
There's no need to.
I don't have to,
because I agree 110% with that. There's so many words out there.
There's so many different. I understand, because when I was in high school, like that's when I really started to like break out of my shell a little bit show people my little verses, spit in the little freestyle. You know, my homie had the little pen. He would make beats with the little pen before we actually would get on instrumentals, and that's what they were noticing. Like, hey, you don't curse, huh, bro? Like, you don't curse. And, you know, they would always ask, why? And I'm like, well, if I could display the same message and emotion without those words, then why not?
Why not?
Why not?
It's art. It's an art. It's this, we're painting. So if we're gonna paint, let's paint with beautiful words.
True indeed. And then also though, like I feel like people sometimes get carried away with the words. Like it's okay to use big words, but use them in the right context and in the right way as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I hear people try to rhyme, like I don't know, I can't think of anything at this very moment, but they'll try to say this big old word with like 8 syllables and try to just to put it in there and sound like they know what they're talking about. But when you ask them to break that word down outside of what they just said in that verse, they're like, oh no, I just thought it sounded dope. So I'm like, all right, man, like
that, and it makes them sound like they're intelligent in a sense. And it does for like not necessarily shock value, but like just to get like the audience attention, like, oh, he or she used this big word. Oh, snaps! Like, okay, do you know the definition?
Do you know the definition? Can you put it in the sentence? Because I didn't hear that. Like,
can you spell it?
Can you spell it? Yeah.
Nope. I'm like, no, don't ask me if I.
Don't ask me if I can spell it. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I put some words in.
I'm not.
I write some words. I'm not a good speller.
Heck no.
I'm not a great speller at all. But I do my best to make sure I know what I'm saying.
That's the most important thing. As long as you know what you're saying, you don't think you have to learn how to spell it properly. But I mean, that does help. But as long as you know.
I forgot what rapper it was, but my mom recently shared me this video. I think it might have been some rapper from the South. But like they were asking him to spell words like on, I forgot what, I think it was like on a Complex like interview. And he couldn't spell anything.
No?
He couldn't spell anything. Like he couldn't even spell thermometer. They're like, thermometer. He was like, he couldn't do it. And they're like, psychedelic. He's like, can't do it. Like he was so bad. And I was like, all right, my vocabulary is not that bad. Or at least my spelling is not that bad. But, you know, it's all good. But anyway, like, so I made it to the top 10 youth poets, you know, SoCal representing. And
he says it like it's nothing. That's what's cool about this guy.
Yeah, like I was honestly, I was shocked to make it because a lot of people didn't really know me as a poet like that because I transitioned into rap more in high school. So I was on beats, just always on beats. And then, you know, spoken word, even though rap comes from that, it is a different element.
It's a different rap and spoken word are two in the same thing.
They are.
Yeah, they're two of the same coins, but different.
But they are
contents.
different. But they are different.
They're very different.
Contents.
They're very different. Because I think, honestly, I say like my favorite MCs are poets. Because I feel like not every rapper is a poet.
Not every rapper is a poet.
And there's some dope, and there's some really dope rappers, but they're not poets.
No, there's a big difference, and that's why I'm glad that you're here because you see the two differences and you respect the differences. Because you're, in my opinion, I consider you a poet. I think I told you that before.
That, yeah.
I think I told you I see you as a poet. So when you respect a lot of people a lot of rappers wouldn't respect that. They would. I think some of them would take it the wrong way. Like I view you as a poet. But at the same time, it's if you could articulate as a poet and translate it to a rapper, then you could do both sides of it. You could do the rap of it all, but then you could also be the flow self of poetry and bring it onto the rap scene. So I think you do a tremendous job of that, and that's why I'm glad that you said that because that explains you as an artist too, because you just said your favorite rappers are poets. So that reflects you really well to the T. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. But yeah, like.
Did you end up winning out of the 10?
So yeah, I was gonna wrap it up with that story. But anyway, so one thing, this was like when I was still learning how to perform. And one thing that
a lot of poets got that down.
And that was the thing, like what my teacher, my mentor, that's what she was telling me when it came to potential. She said, you have potential, but now you need to develop the skill, not just your poetry, but your stage presence, your energy. You know what I mean? How you represent yourself, knowing your audience. Because basically, we had 3 pieces. We had 3 pieces for 3 rounds. You didn't have to,
you could be strategic.
You could be strategic and use a certain piece, for a certain round. You don't have to use your strongest piece for the first round.
Or your last one.
Or your last round. Depending if you even make it to that next round, So you had to be very strategic, and they paired us up with so basically like a week before the contest, they paired us up with like some famous poets. And I don't know if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The
cartoon.
Cartoon. We won't acknowledge the movie.
No,
my bad.
I can't even talk about that. But I'm talking about the cartoon.
The cartoon. I've seen it. Yeah.
So Prince Zuko.
I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm that.
You know what Prince Zuko is, right? The firebender.
Okay, the fire. Okay,
with the scar on his eye.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah. So he, the dude who plays him, he goes by Dante Bosco. He with Shihan, he created the Poetry Lounge.
Okay. Oh, snaps.
He created the Poetry Lounge with Shihan. So he's like a super dope poet. I didn't even know that until I met him, and I was like, I didn't know who he was until I heard his voice, and I was like, dude, you sound like. I said, you sound like Prince Zuko.
And what did he say?
And he said, I am.
I am Prince Zuko.
And I was like, wait, what do you mean? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm
the voice.
I'm the voice from him, and he's like, what's up? And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah.
How you were 10 then, right?
No, at this time I was 16.
Okay.
I was 16 now. I was in high school, so I was like, damn, that's dope. 16. That's dope. So anyway, so he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot because I didn't even know there was such thing as like a poet laureate, which is like the Grammys for poets. I
didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a poet laureate.
A lot of people don't know this, but the poetry scene, if you're deep inside the poetry,
if you're deep inside the poetry scene,
wow.
bro, I've met poets like from this contest, even though it was very brief. I met poets who were like just as big as rappers.
No, in the poetry scene.
And the poetry scene.
Yeah, but that poetry scene is passion.
But it's passion, and it's authentic, and it's raw, and it's real.
Very.
Very, very real. Like there's nothing to hide in the poetry scene.
You can't hide nothing. Because it's all vulnerability.
It's all vulnerability, like you said. Yeah.
You're just pouring everything out inch by inch.
So, so the contest, we were there. It was crazy because a lot of people, they interviewed us, all the poets, and they asked the poets, who do you think's gonna win? And I'm like, what kind of question is that? They're like, why would you ask us? Who do you think's gonna win? And I had told, I forgot my friend's name, but I had said oh, this home, just to say, what's up, yo, this guy. But I ended up finding out a lot of people were saying, oh, my name's Jair. So a lot of people were like, Jair. And I was like, oh, snap. Damn, okay. That I appreciate that for sure. But anyway, I ended up getting knocked out in the first round.
Damn.
And the reason for that is because I didn't know my audience. I didn't do the knowledge to who my judges were. I decided to recite my political poem, and it was in front of some old white dudes who were the judges. And
old white people don't like political shit.
They couldn't vibe with it at all.
Nah, white people don't like political poems. It's fun though because they just look at you like.
Yeah, those were the faces, bro. Those were the faces.
Oh, I've seen those faces plenty of times. They're like,
they were so uncomfortable. And so I ended up getting knocked out first round, and the audience was mad.
The
audience was mad. I was mad.
Did you I've learned a lesson from doing a slam poetry event. Mm-hmm. At that point, did you learn that it's best if it's done for you versus for audience?
Oh, no doubt about it at all.
Because it's you're giving your emotion, you're giving a true statement on your views, yet it made certain people uncomfortable, so it didn't allow you to go to the next round. So do you feel like that taught you?
I didn't regret. See, and that's the thing. People were telling me, do you regret doing that one? If you should have started with a different one or this or that. I'm like, not at all.
It served its purpose.
I was like, there was intention behind that poem.
They didn't like that either.
And they didn't like it. That's okay. I have fun.
That's cool.
It is what it is. And I got invited to come back the following year. But that's when like I decided to get more serious with my rap. So I just didn't take that route. But that was a beautiful experience because it allowed me to like get my authenticity together as an artist. And after that, that's when I started to get more serious with my rap.
That's cool. No, I think spoken word slam events, particularly slam events, teaches you a lot about yourself. And then just being in that environment, either as a poet or as a spectator, it gets so like, oh, there's so many emotions up and down. Especially you got a good poet who's slamming their heart out. It's just like crap. The whole room gets moving and all that. If you who was your favorite poet? You have one.
At this very moment, I don't know if you're familiar with Rudy Garcia.
Oh, wait, who?
Rudy Garcia.
No, I know Rudy Francisco, not Garcia.
So there's Rudy Garcia and then there's Rudy Francisco. Rudy Francisco is amazing.
Smooth.
Rudy Francisco is ridiculous.
He's smooth.
Rudy Garcia, he's like a Latino brother. He's really, really dope.
I'm going to have to check him out.
And then also like my mentor at that time who trained me for a week. If you look him up, just look up Dante Bosco.
Dante Bosco.
He's ridiculous. Not only did he create the Poetry Lounge with Shihan, but he also, Most Def used to have this show on HBO in like the early 2000s.
Def Poetry.
Def Poetry. Yeah. And he created that with him.
Really?
Yeah. So Dante Bosco is just ridiculous.
So what are you going, you have the torch. What are you going to create then? You got the torch to see it.
We'll see, man.
Just getting started.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back again. So
we got a lot of insight. The only reason why I got into poetry because I saw that video. I forgot. I think I messaged you about it too. We were doing a spoken word. It was at an auditorium. I think you were young too. You were younger.
I was young, yeah.
That's why I got into the whole asking about poetry because I think I was like, I know the way you rap. I was like, there has to be a poetic foundation to it. You could tell there is definitely poetic foundation to it. All right, so now we're at the part of the show where, we got to know you more. So let's ask you this question: what's been on your mind in this sense, where we're at in this world, whether that be hip hop or the world is technically hip hop.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that. We'll leave it there. The table it's in your table now.
If we're just with hip hop, I'm in this. Me and my brother, we're in this stage where we're trying to become more serious with our craft. And what I mean by that is like actually make it a lifestyle, try to make a career out of it.
Definitely.
And it's rough, especially when people hear you on a boom bap beat and they automatically say, "Oh, you're underground," or something like that.
We're gonna talk about that in a bit. Keep going, keep talking.
And I'm just like, yo, like I'm not underground. I'm just being me. Like I do my best to keep myself out of these boxes and think outside of them. But it's weird.
When do we as artists start saying underground? Because I feel like you said career, right? So now underground, we always think that is a career in a sense.
That is.
But when you say career, I'm thinking, knowing you, it's bigger.
Definitely.
Technically. Well, what is the underground? You see,
and this is the thing. Like I grew up in the underground scene, like underground.
See, that's
scene.
That's why.
So I've seen my mom has so many friends, who are in their 40s, 50s now, who were doing this, who were trying to make it at my age, and they kept themselves in that box.
In that underground.
Like, oh, I'm not mainstream or commercial, so I'm underground. There's no balance. There's no middle. Like,
yeah, I don't think you.
Why can't we just be independent artists, but do what we do? Like, why do we have to? Just because I'm not gonna lie. Like, my first time writing the beats were boom bap beats, because when I was writing, we didn't have like trap beats like that yet. Like when I first started writing, how like the trap sound we have now, that didn't really exist. Like the closest we got to trap was like, Lil Wayne and like Drake. when I was starting to write.
Yeah,
and that wasn't really trap.
That wasn't. It was just a different.
It was just
sound.
it was just commercial rapping. Like it was just a commercial sound, like club bangers basically. And so when I went to open mics, I did start in the underground scene because that's where I was familiar with.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would go to LA, go to open mics, spit a little verse or kick a freestyle. But then, like, just going to more events, I see how, like, a lot of artists that consider themselves underground, like, I see them struggle to make it.
No, I get you.
They you know what I mean? They're struggling, or a lot of them do have 9-to-5s. Some of them have families, and I've seen it work. My mom she has successful friends who said, I'm not just underground, and found their avenue and found their path and made it happen. And that's where I'm envisioning myself. I'm not trying to like, so I've been offered a distribution deal before. I've seen it in a contract. I know how that works. And I'm like, nah, that ain't worth it. Like that's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. For everybody. So I turned down like distribution contracts from like, little labels and this and that. But I don't know, the underground scene, especially the LA underground scene, they're still like, if you don't make what they want you to make, you're not, it's almost like, then get out.
And that's why
where they shut you off.
They shut you off quick.
It's like, so that's why when you said underground, but you want to make it, it's just like, it's that whole idea of boxing people off, saying just because you have that boom bap sound that automatically classes you underground. I think I told Jack, I was like, I would hope none of the people I know want to be an underground king. It's like,
yeah, underground king, not at all.
It's like, cool, I get it. Like if that's what you're at, then fine, so be it. Which is nothing is wrong with that. That to each their own. We all have our own ideology of success or wherever we want to go with this. Like you said, your vision for yourself. And that's a good thing that you said that, because you know where you want to go. And that's a bigger picture. And that's good that you're able to say it, but more importantly, speak on it, because people will say it, but they don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
So you're doing a good job of that.
Yeah. I mean, because with underground, like when I go to events and people call me an underground artist, it's usually the older heads. You know what I mean? You remind me of the 90s, which is a cool comparison. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But we're not in the 90s.
No, we're not.
I personally don't want to hear that anymore. Like, oh, you remind me of, like I get a lot of like Q-Tip comparisons. I mean, I do sound like him. That's cool. I don't mind that. But
the nostalgia feeling.
That nostalgia feeling is what keeps
us here when we're trying to progress.
When we're trying to be there. And I feel like, especially, we got to take advantage like of the digital age. And you know what I mean?
We do.
Underground, like it was real life. Like you were selling your mixtapes, you were selling your t-shirts. Like we still do that as independent artists, but it's not that hard anymore.
It's not.
And I feel like we choose to make it harder for ourselves because we don't want to accept the change.
Times have changed whether we like them or not.
Whether we like it or not, we don't want to, like a lot of people don't want to accept it. A lot of older heads, because they think, just because they see a kid my age, talking about, I don't know if I can curse on this.
You can.
I mean,
why the fuck not?
Why the fuck not? But no, I wasn't gonna say nothing crazy, but I was just saying talk about like, like drugs and bitches and like, misogynistic type stuff, like, over a trap beat. Like just because you see a kid doing that who's my age, and unfortunately he represents, hip hop now because of what the radio says. That I can't do anything other than either do that or be where you want me to be.
That's always been my my challenge to some of these artists as well, as far as like, like you don't have to necessarily like follow the format, like follow who you are. You don't necessarily have to talk about like, just what you mentioned, like, sex, drugs, and things of that nature. Like talk about like what is you as an artist, like what you experienced. Like don't let these specific individuals dictate like what you need to talk about or what you need to say, knowing in your music or your art, or just erase in general.
No, truth, and that's truth. Yeah, like I remember when I was younger, like when I was first starting to write, um, like there was a lot of like MCs who inspired me to write. Obviously Most Def, because that was like the first show I went to where I was like, I want to be an MC. So like Most Def, obviously. When I was younger, I was like a big fan of this rapper named Common.
Oh yeah.
Because Common, I got compared to Common a lot as a kid. Not I sound like him, but because I had a poetic style. And Common is a poet.
Yes.
Especially in his early stuff.
Especially in his early stuff. Like
when he was
I would
Common
listen
Sense.
to when he was Common Sense. So I would listen to his albums like B. Like that's my favorite album from him. Like I would listen to that like on a daily, not to like copy his cadence or copy his flow, but just hear how he tells his stories and how he goes in and out with poetry.
And I think he was at the pinnacle stage too on that album, like where he was at the height.
Yeah, because like that's the thing too. Like, we see these, because Common was once underground, right? Like he was once underground, and like even though he's done some things, in the commercial industry, mainstream, he's still Common. Like he still will get on like some stuff, and you'll be like, damn, like this is Common.
Yeah.
And that's like not my goal. Like I said, I really want to strive to do my best to like avoid like any type of collabing with like, anybody with the first name Little. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to collab with Little this or Little that. Like that's a goal. But I understand that there is ways to make it happen as an independent artist without saying, oh, I gotta be in East LA, or not just East LA, but just in underground scenes, and this is the only way to do it. Like, nah, bro. You could travel. Like, that's the one thing too. Like, I'm starting to understand the difference between a local mind state and a global mind state as an artist. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one thing too. Like,
elaborate that.
Yeah, I mean, local minded people won't understand global minded goals.
That's why when I said underground kings, I'm like, nah. Like I told my friend, I can't make music with just anybody. Because if someone wants to be an underground king and they want to work with me, no disrespect, but I'm thinking, like you said, I'm not thinking locally. I'm thinking globally.
Yeah.
So our energies can't coexist on the same track.
Not at all. No, I mean, I'm very particular with my collaborations as well, because we have to have the same, at least the same. I wouldn't say goal.
No,
but just like I know exactly what you're striving to do. You know exactly what I'm striving to do. So we're
same end goals per se.
Yeah. Like so we're only making what we want to accomplish stronger together.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I've been mindful of. So when I talk about, locally, I don't mind starting off locally, because that's obviously where everybody starts off locally. But there's going to come a time where you're going to have to leave for a while. Because if you don't leave, you get stuck.
Yep, don't get stuck.
Don't get stuck. Because if you get stuck, then it turns into a hobby. And hobby, if it's a hobby, then you're not getting paid. You know what I mean? Like that's just like,
you get comfortable.
You get comfortable. And for me, like I would just tell my brother, like, who's in my group, like we want to travel. Our goal is to travel. Like we're not even tripping on being huge in the US, because we don't even appreciate our music anyway out here. Like I'd rather be big in the UK or Japan. You know what I mean? Like get me to another country. Culture. Like I've been hanging around this collective from East LA called East the River.
Aren't they? Weren't they just in?
They just got back from the UK.
Yeah, there you go.
But we went to an event of theirs a couple weeks ago, and I was chatting it up with one of their members in the collective, and he was telling me like, "Yo, like you and Zan need to get out to where we just got back from, which is UK."
They would love you
and
guys.
They said they would love y'all. He said they would, because they like they like crave what we're doing out here and what we take for granted out here. They crave that. He's like, they want that. They appreciate that. He's like, y'all would be huge. And I'm like, man, like that's a goal. Like that's a goal. Like I'm not tripping on being like the best from out here at all. Like, what happened to Soulstice? Oh, he's on tour in in Japan. You know what I mean? Like, oh snap! Like he's traveling the world, and then I'll be gone for 4 months or a month or whatever, and come back.
No, I'll be gone for a year, then come back.
Or I say months because like I'm young, so I don't. I haven't left home like that.
Nah, man.
But I do want to leave.
Nah, man. Just start shooting for the big stuff already, man. Start shooting.
That, man. Nah,
start shooting. Don't say forward because that's too short of a tour.
That is true. Because that's man, short. Like this year already, like
we're already halfway through the year.
We're halfway through June.
We're already halfway through the halfway month of June. It's
you know what I mean? We're halfway through the halfway. So I'm like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. Like I'm very patient.
But here's the thing: don't be patient. But what's the word I'm looking for? But don't be stagnant. Be patient. Be patient enough to be there, but wise enough to move.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned because like when I read a book from Chuck D, like he mentioned about the UK. Like the UK is like on a different level when it comes to music because he kind of broke it down to like a little short story, or just to sum up a long story short. It's like he's telling like, back in the States, like how they weren't really getting the reception or the response. So when they went to tour for the UK, they were kind of expecting the same thing, like, all right, well, we'll just do the show and we'll just have fun. And as soon as they stepped out to perform next, like mountains of people were like cheering them on. Like
that's what I'm talking about.
They literally weren't expecting, like, okay, all right, let's do it. So it changed their perspective.
Yeah, and it sucks because like it doesn't suck at all. But like I come to LA to perform. When I tell them where I'm from, they don't believe me. You're from Pomona, the IE. Y'all do stuff out there.
People don't. It's
ridiculous. Like people, we just performed in LA. Like last week.
You're gonna be there tonight.
Well, I'm gonna be in LA tonight as well.
This guy's busy.
But I was in LA last week. We performed for this collective. They throw shows called Say La Hip Hop. They're from
Say La Hip Hop. I'm actually doing next week.
You're next week with them? Nice. Yes, we performed for them. And there was this one dude, he's like, where y'all from? We said Pomona. He's like the freeway? Like the freeway. Like, that's all he knew about
Pomona. Oh, because he said Pomona Freeway. That makes sense.
That's all he knew about Pomona was the freeway. So I'm like, yeah, man.
It's weird that we have to deal with this LA-IE thing because at the end of the day, it's like whenever I go to LA, I just feel like everybody's washed up because they're from LA. So they have this idea that I'm from LA, I'm the shit. And this is not everybody. This is not everybody.
No, it's real. It's real life though.
But
it's real life.
Because
the first time me and my brother performed in LA, because like when we first created Zensoul, the duo, we did like for like the first like 4 months, we were just in Pomona doing, because like that's when people were just like, yo, we want you to perform here. We want you to perform there. So we were just in downtown Pomona like every day for like 4 months.
Was that just like 2 summers ago?
That was 2 summers ago.
Yeah, that's when I think we saw you guys all the fucking time.
Yeah, we were like out there every day doing something. And then we got asked to perform at this one underground LA hip hop event. And it was just weird. Like as soon as we said where we were from, it was almost like people wanted to tune out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, this is weird. Like, why? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But then I noticed like how all the artists were homies. You know what I mean? Like they know each other. They probably go to each other's houses, kick it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just like, damn. So y'all like that with it? Like, but then the IE is somewhat like that too. I'm starting to like understand.
I think we're all like that.
We're all like that.
Yeah. There's some ignorance with it.
There is, bro. There is.
Because it's like everybody wants to say something about the IE, but at the end of the day, it's is it the idea of being a hometown hero, keeping a lot of us just being hometown heroes?
I think that's what it might be, because we see these artists. I mean, I see artists from small towns. I'll look up a rapper and I'll be like, oh, I didn't know he was from like Montana. You know what I mean? Or like this part of Texas. And like they represent where they're from. And I feel like, some of us might want to do that for the IE, but it's not necessary.
It's not necessary. I don't think I remember one of my good friends told me, he's like, yo, there's a few people out here that know you rap now. And he was like, you should let them know that you rap, like prove to them. But I said, you know what? The moment I give my ego that satisfaction is the moment me, myself as the artist, deny my blessing as an artist. Because now I'm trying to prove something to you that I'm better than you. No. That's when, for me, that's when I lose myself. So I think that's what
and that's the thing too. Like I never saw rap as a competition. I did that's one thing I live by. Like I don't see rap, even though it is. You know what I mean? It is like everybody, or not everybody, but there's a lot of us who want to be better than him.
No, I agree.
Like you get on, like you see a dude who just performed. You're like, like he should have went. There is
like, that. That happens.
It happens.
There's talk that we as men, we're men. Let's be real.
We're men.
We're men.
It's in our nature.
It's in our nature.
So there's no problem with that.
I think there's a better way of doing it, because I remember J Rilla, every time he'd perform, I'd go up to him one time. I was like, "Yo, bro, I'm coming for your head." But it was a
respectful thing, and that's different. That's different.
Yeah, because I always tell him, like, I'm coming for you.
Because you're acknowledging his greatness.
Yes.
Which makes you acknowledge your own. So we're reflections of ourselves, of each other.
And that's why I don't think this is a competition. I think it's only within yourself.
Because the competition is always within yourself.
Yeah. Because once you, fuck, you said it.
Nah, that's real life.
It's true.
That's what a lot of the kids I work with, I always tell them, like, we want each other to be better, right? They say, yeah. I said, don't compete. Don't try to outrun the next person next to you when you can't even outrun yourself. Outrun yourself first. The next person is going to see you working harder. They're going to want to work harder. Now that's how we truly compete.
That's how it works.
Yeah, because then
that's how it's supposed to be.
There's no animosity. There's no negativity. It's, oh, you're working. Okay, cool. Let me go back to work. That's what, like, I love seeing you post something, J Rilla, Jack. It's like, when I see someone post something, it's like I'm not like thinking, damn, like, why? It's more of, okay, cool. Now let me.
I share, with a few people. Like I'm proud of my family's accomplishments, and I mean like my IE family.
Oh yeah,
definitely. I'm proud of everybody, because when they work in, like you said, it inspires me to keep working.
Oh yeah,
it's all motivation. It's all inspiration, and that's how a lot of us need to see it. We need more of us need to see it that way, because there's a lot of us that don't.
Nope.
And it's like, I gotta make it before him, and it's like, nah, like teamwork make the dream work, bro. Like there's no
time frame
for this. Like there's no deadline.
There is none whatsoever.
If you want to create that for yourself in that illusion. You know what I mean?
That's a big illusion to be messing with,
that's
too.
That's a big illusion to be messing with. And it's unfortunate because, that's how society works.
Damn.
You know what I mean? They put a time limit on everything. If you don't have this, buy this. If you don't have that, buy that. You're not being this.
I feel
what I mean? They make success like it's rented.
I feel like what you're saying is something that I tell a lot of people, especially with the kids I work with. It's like they put Jay-Z's numbers out there, right? Just recently, like first rapper billionaire.
Yeah.
So we didn't see how he got started. We don't know the story of that. We don't.
His struggles.
So now
he struggled for a long time.
So now
long time.
So now as young artists, whether we want that level of Jay-Z, whether somebody wants that level of Tupac, whether someone wants that Nipsey, whatever ranking or whatever person they're viewing, they're gonna race against their time clock. You're already putting yourself up for failure because you don't even know how old they were or young they were when they first started or when they had their first mistake or whenever. So now you're putting yourself against this expectation of, by the age of 20 something or whatever, I want to have this. You're going to meet failure and you're going to be so upset. But if you just understand, like you said, there's no time frame. You're not racing against nobody. If you were just to do it 10 out of 10 times, if you're just to do it, it don't matter when, you're going to get some level of success. Some level.
Oh, no doubt about it.
And then on that subject, speaking of time, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back for the final part. Nah,
Do you wanna
we
do it
just
now?
we
No, we're
just went
kicking.
we just
We ran
went through.
into it.
But yeah, welcome back, everyone. We're here for our final segment of
Final pool.
for episode 14. So
Hey.
we're just gonna go back to our guests,
Yo,
Soulstice.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So music.
Yeah.
What's you guys just recently put a project out.
Yeah.
Give us a little insight on that.
Yeah, so we just dropped the EP called Cactus Blues about a month ago. It's everywhere. Find that on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, Google Play, wherever. But yeah, it's produced by an in-house producer.
So dope, right?
You know, his name is So Dope.
Mhm.
Cause he's so dope.
He's so dope.
That guy knows his.
So
his
together
stuff.
we are Zen Soul Dope. And
Zen so dope. That's so dope.
yeah, so that it just works so
It
well.
works so good.
It just works so well.
That's so cool, man.
So
That just made
yeah,
me
because the
happy.
last track on the project is called Dope, right? But it was supposed to be Zen Soul Dope, but then we just said Dope because if you just say like, oh, that's a Zen Soul Dope, okay, Zen Soul Dope.
then
Yeah, so
it's
like
still
some people
there.
get it, some people get it.
Rather than saying,
Yeah.
that's smart. I see what you did there.
Yeah, so but yeah, we're very proud of it. You know, it expresses where we're at, I guess. But it's crazy because like I was talking to my brother about this. We recorded everything last year. So our mindset now and where our mentality is now and where we're at in our lives now is 1,000% different than what it was, at that time when we wrote all those songs. But it's cool because we could still, this one thing that we have always appreciated about our own music that we could definitely acknowledge is that it always comes down full circle. Like we'll be having a conversation and he'll just say a line from one of our tracks and I'll be like, dang, bro. Or I'll do the same thing and he'll be like, see, man, like we speak everything into existence, bro. Affirmations.
I feel like writing a song is your current self arguing with your past self, listening to your future self.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's
real. Yeah, you did.
That's very true.
I love that.
Especially when I write my poems or
Vector. No,
poetry.
Vector's a poet. He has a book. I have your books at my house, so don't short yourself up. No, I have a book of yours at my house that I look at every morning. So don't say you're not a poet. You're a poet.
Nice.
Yeah, but go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was saying. So yeah, we wrote a lot of that last year, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of it, like everything. So basically, we wanted to make a project with our producer Soldo for a while. So one day last year we're like, yo, we're trying to put out another project. You know what I mean? And we want you to produce it all because we want to have one sound. We want to have a project where it's like, all right, this track carries into this track so perfectly well. And I feel like a lot of projects that artists drop, it's not that common where it's just one dude making the beats.
Even the transition point.
Yeah.
It's not I feel like a lot of artists these days don't really take that in consideration when dropping an album to allow there to be a flow within the actual songs themselves.
Yeah, no, once everything was like mixed, mastered, we got all the tracks, like we played them numerous times, went through different tracks. Maybe this sounds good after, to go follow this one. Maybe this sounds good to follow that one. Like it took some weeks, honestly. Like it wasn't just one day where like, oh yeah, that's the track list. Like it took a lot of time because we wanted everything to be smooth.
Do you feel like it's difficult? I don't want to use difficult as a word because I don't want any negative attachment to it. But do you feel, considering when it's one person creating the track list, now you know where I'm going with this question now. Yeah. I saw the look. So how is it when because and that's the good thing about both of you guys, because both of you guys are very opening people to really being, okay, let's do this, let's try it. Because it's like you said, the rap game itself, it's not egotistic. I mean, people are egotistical with it. So egos have to be gone out the window when it comes down to the final touches of certain things, such as this project. Really like a track list, an order of a track list. So how is it that you guys are able to do it so well?
Together,
yeah. I mean, and that's why I wanted you guys separated.
No.
Just so
I like this question.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a track list in my mind before I even brought up the track list question to him. I thought certain tracks, I was like, oh yeah, this is the track list. Hit my ideas to him. And like, that's the thing about me and my brother though. Like, we're brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? You're gonna go
like,
through it.
We're not just people who rap together. Like, we lived with each other at one time. You know what I mean? We were roommates. So like, he knows me and I know him on just like on a brother level. Like, you know, we understand each other to the fullest. So when I come up with something and he doesn't agree with it, he's not gonna talk any shit. You know what I mean? Like, we always give each other constructive criticism on everything. And it only allows us to grow stronger as a group. Because like I said, I brought up a track list to him. You know, he wasn't really feeling it. You know, he brought up certain tracks. I wasn't feeling it. All right, let's come up with something together. Like, we've never like created problems with each other that we couldn't solve. Like, we've always been able to solve anything that we've been through, whether it was a disagreement on anything or like we never had like a huge fallout. Like, there's never been a time where he was like, you know what, like, I'm done with this. You know, like I've never felt that way either because, like when we came together as a group, we were dope individual artists.
Yeah, very dope
so
individuals.
All I can do, it's like a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, you only add what the other person is doing. Like, we're only adding, you know, love to what we're already striving to accomplish.
How did you guys connect?
So we met. So check this out. So I performed with a band yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So I performed with a band. I was jamming with them.
How was that last night? Let's ask that. How was that?
That was amazing. That was amazing. So there's a band. They're called Shinobi Ghosts. They're a group of talented brothers from Claremont, and yeah, they asked me if I wanted to like get on the mic and just kind of do some improvising, freestyle, get the crowd interacting. You know what I mean? So I did my thing. And it was dope. It was beast. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, they're called Shinobi Ghosts. So I met them through Zen.
Oh.
I met them through Zen because Zen used to be in that band.
Oh.
Before I met Zen. But they weren't a band. They were a hip hop group.
Okay.
And it was they were a hip hop group, like a trio or like, so before it was a band, like added any type of instrumentation. The keyboard player for this band, his name is Jonah. He rapped, my boy Zen rapped, and then you're familiar with Don V.
Yeah,
Don V was the producer of their group.
Oh, wow.
And he rapped. There were a trio called Shinobi Ghosts.
Ooh.
This was like 2015.
Wow.
So he had his group, and then out of high school, I had my group. It was me, my friend, and then another friend of ours who was a producer / rapper. So it was like similar.
Okay.
And we were called Independent Practice.
Independent Practice.
So we were called Independent Practice. They were called Shinobi Ghosts. And then one day, Shinobi Ghosts and Independent Practice had like a little cipher.
Oh,
snaps. You know, we put on some beats and we were just freestyling back and forth. And me and Keto's like chemistry though were just like vibing off of each other. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it was weird. Like, we were just going, you know, and everybody was just like, at the end of it, like, you know, people were just letting us go back and forth for a while. And I like, you know, that was the first time I ever met him. Me too. So I was like, you know, and then after that, we got to like talk about, you know, life a little bit. So I'm like, yo, we need to hang out, kick it, collab. He's like, yeah, definitely. And then unfortunately, like, I had like moved to the Bay for a little bit to San Francisco. So my mom lives up there. So I had to take care of some business out there. But then when I came back, I was like, yo, he was like one of the first people I came, you know, in touch with. And I hit him up, and then he was like, yeah, Shinobi Ghost is done. And I was like, oh, what happened? He was like, I mean, they're forming a band, and he was like, they're not trying to have me a part of it. They just want me to collab. Like, you know, I understood, and like at that time, like my group was done too. So we were both just solo artists. And so one day, like, I just like, yo, like, just come through my house and we'll start writing. So then this was like 2016, like summertime. And he came to my house, and then we would just freestyle for hours, write for hours. We had tracks, and we were like, dude, like, we were like, I was like, this could be a duo if we wanted to.
Damn.
I said we could be a dope duo if we wanted to, bro. And I was like, we don't have to. We could just be brothers who decide to collab with each other now and then. But if we became a duo, we could do something amazing for sure. And
That's
he
crazy.
agreed 1,000%. But for a whole year, we didn't perform anything. We just wrote and practiced. And then our first ever show was at the Black Noise house.
Was it the hip hop awareness one?
No, it was the homie. He goes by his name is Christian, but he goes by Neighborhood Art.
Wait, was that?
That's when I
Wait,
met
is
you.
was that the first time you guys fucking performed together?
Yeah.
No, swear to God.
Yeah.
Swear to fucking God.
That was the same day we met
oh,
you.
Damn. That was the same.
Yeah.
I feel like I watched history happen.
Nah, you were there, bro.
Wow.
We met Jack. We met Moses.
That's when we met everybody then.
I met everybody that day.
How?
This was like 2
This
summers
was
ago.
2 summers ago. I'm kind of mind blown
This
right
was
now.
2 summers ago.
Who else was on that bill?
Like I don't know, like just hip hop or poetry. Like
It was
wasn't
more
that much.
poetry and hip hop, and
But
right.
There's some bands too. But like so me and Keto performed. We weren't even Zen Soul. Like we didn't even come up with that name. We were just like J Soulstice and Zensoul.
Yeah, I remember.
That was on that flyer.
That was on the flyer.
That was on that flyer. But
Dude, that's
yeah,
wow.
that was the first time we performed.
So I've been able to witness from the start.
Yeah, you were there, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you were there. So
that's so tight. Man.
Yeah. But that's
wow.
how we met.
You
Black
guys
Noise.
have grown a lot
Mm.
together as well as individuals, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy because like me and him look back at that.
Wow.
Like damn, like 2 years go by quick.
2 years.
2 years goes by quick.
2 years go by fast.
Last year was a blur for me as well, and then this year is ridiculous.
It's gonna get like
I'm
faster.
not. But
as you get older, time just
I believe y'all, man. I believe y'all.
time just moves. Scary.
Days feel like hours. Weeks feel like days. Like I'm already starting to feel it. So I could only imagine.
But when time moves slow, God, you better take care of that.
Oh no, I appreciate my time alone because I'm an introvert. You know what I mean? So like,
I think the best artists are introverts.
I'm an introvert at like a real hardcore introvert.
This is the adaptation of it.
But I don't mind extroverting myself when I perform.
That's therapy.
Because it's my therapy, like you said. Because as an introvert, people think you're antisocial in a way, or you're quiet.
No, but we just observe things.
But we're just very observant, and we're very intuitive.
Very intuitive.
Very intuitive. And we have like the like all the introverts that I know like have self-awareness.
Because it's like for me when I'm thinking of introvert, it's more of me. When I don't go out, people are like, you're being selfish. I'm like, I'm being if we call it selfish, call it selfish. But this is me being selfless. I know deep down inside my energy is not good right now. So let me be my introverted self and just stay in my bubble. Protect you from what's going on with me.
I'm the same exact way.
Yeah.
I don't like whenever I'm feeling a certain way and I know it's not healthy, I do my best to not like project it on others.
Good. That's willpower and that's strength. That's discipline.
Yeah.
That's love.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so it's only been 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, man. I was 20. He was 21 when we like started doing our thing.
Wow.
It's been 2 years, and the journey's been super, super dope. Like we've enjoyed everything, every part of it. Like there's times where like I'm not gonna lie, like coming into this year, Zensoul was about to be done for a second. It had nothing to do with me. It was just like where we were going through our personal lives. We were like, yo, we might have to put this on the back burner for a little bit. But, the cool thing about us being a duo and knowing each other, whenever he feels a certain way or has self-doubt, I'm able to pick him up, and it's always vice versa.
Vice versa.
It's always vice versa.
Yin and yang, there's a balance to it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's an extrovert, I'm an introvert, so we balance each other. We bring the best out of each other, you know what I mean? He's Zen, I'm Soul. You know what I mean? So, like,
real shit.
That's how that works. The energy is always reciprocated between me and him. And, yeah, like I said, we just dropped the project. It's really dope. We're actually working on some really, really dope stuff right now. I'm not gonna say nothing.
No,
actually.
don't say it.
We are working on something though.
Something
We're
is
working on
coming
something,
for
though.
2020.
Maybe late 2019. We're dropping a couple singles though, for sure this summer.
Ooh,
We're dropping a couple singles.
when?
Speaking of like trap, like seeing that people think when you rap on trap, you have to sound like what's on trap.
You don't have to.
And there's conscious trap. There's such thing as conscious
I
trap.
like rapping on trap beats.
I like rapping on trap beats because
it's fun.
It's fun. And
there's so many pockets.
There's so many pockets.
There's
bro.
so many pockets.
Kendrick is example.
Kendrick is a really great example. But like for me, I'm like, man, so I could double time and speak about some positivity. Like, hell yeah, let me do that.
Do it.
Let me do that. Because I was watching an interview. I forgot what artist said this, but they were talking about like the industry, and they were talking about how like the three labels that run 90% of hip hop, like in the terms of mainstream.
Yeah.
I think like I know Sony and Warner Brothers. I don't know the last one.
Interscope, Universal.
Yeah, I think
Universal.
Universal does own
Universal.
Universal owns like half of whatever's
all the
left.
other labels. Yeah.
So those three. And I used to work for this organization called Hip Hop for Change. It was a nonprofit organization. We would go out to the streets and canvas, and talk to people about hip hop and ask them for their money to throw some shows for the community. And when I did that made me really like, it just allowed me to really discover my purpose even more. Because it gave me like the realization that, okay, as an artist, I do have a voice.
Oh yeah,
I have a powerful voice.
Very.
And we all do. We all do. And we all have a story to tell. We all have something to share. And it's just about expressing it, but expressing it as you.
Not as anyone else.
Not as anyone else. And that's the cool thing about what what Zensoul is doing, because recently we've had somebody tell us where, like, even though you guys get comparisons, because everybody's gonna get a comparison to somebody, they're like, because y'all are so genuine with your energy when you perform, your styles, your lyrics. Not only that, but like, I've been appreciating my voice a little bit more, because when I first rapped, I hated my voice.
You have a great voice, dog.
I hated my voice when I would record, bro. Like, I would be like, I don't know what it was about, but I didn't enjoy listening to myself for a while.
It happens.
Yeah, but
part of the process.
But one thing somebody had told me recently actually was Speaks Geek. Shout out to Speaks Geek.
Speaks is a good person to be around.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal person.
But
yeah, I've been hanging around him a little bit more, and he was telling me that he's like, your voice, because he said this is what somebody told him, and he's like, I'm gonna share this message to you, because he has a very unique
I have a
voice.
feeling where you're gonna. I think he might have told me this too. Go ahead.
But he was telling me like, with your voice, like there's people who make certain stuff, and you could think that, oh, this sounds like that someone else made it. But he's like, with your voice, he's like, people are gonna recognize you because only you made this, because only you sound how you sound. And I was like, that's real, because there's been artists that I listen to, like on the radio, whatever's playing. I try not to listen to radio, but if it's playing,
sometimes you have to.
YouTube, whatever's on, whatever. But I'd be like, oh, I thought that was that artist. I thought that was him. You know what I mean? With these new guys,
they all sound.
They sound the same.
Yeah,
they sound the same.
There's no uniqueness.
There's no uniqueness. There's no authenticity at all. And like the real people who are getting paid, like in terms of the actual creative side, is the beat maker, producer.
Yeah, producer.
For you, just made the producer blow up,
or the songwriter too.
Or the songwriter.
Chances are the artist is not the songwriter anymore.
Oh no, bro! Like once I found out a lot of artists don't write their stuff, like it made me like.
Did it make you feel a type of way?
Made me disappointed, because I'm like, so you're really like in a way a puppet. You're really a puppet in this game. In this game, like
you're a part of the machine.
You're part of the machine.
Damn.
And that's so unfortunate, man. Because I'm like, how can you call yourself an artist at that point? Like, I never, like when I listen to an artist or see an artist perform, And a lot of people will say, "Oh, they're trash." I never say an artist is trash because I appreciate the grind. If I don't like your music, I always appreciate the hustle no matter what.
That's real.
I don't say nothing to you because you're on stage with a microphone in your hand while a lot of people are still talking about wanting to even record. You know what I mean? So like that's
it.
Like it's all about execution, bro. It's all about, it don't matter who's the most talented person in the room anymore.
Yeah. That was actually right on time. Wow. But no, yeah, I don't think we should even tell anybody that because it's a reflection of who we are.
True.
Yeah. Like if it's a smoky mirror, it's a reflection. You should never tell anybody else that they're garbage or anything or trash because that's just how you feel internally about yourself.
But that's how hip hop works. I remember I went to a KOS One concert last year, and he was talking about, he was on stage dropping knowledge. He was like, "This is how hip hop used to work." He said, at least for like the MCing, he was like, when you're dope and you know your brother's not dope, are you gonna tell your brother you're trash? Like, nah. We're a community. You know what I mean? You're gonna tell your brother, "Yo, because I'm dope, you're gonna be dope too." And like that's how it works. Cause hip hop it's a lot of people, don't even know the elements.
They don't.
They don't even know. They think, like I asked a dude a while back, I was like, "What's hip hop?" He said Power 106. I was like, "Oh, bro,
oh my God.
Go home."
I would have took my shoes off and be like, "I'm going home."
Like, go home, bro.
All right. Well, let the people know where they can find you and give them a quick update of what's next for you.
Truth. Yeah, so you can find me on my Instagram. Actually, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter here and there at J_Soulstice. At J_SOULSTICE. You can also follow my my hip hop duo Zensoul at Zensoul Music, and you can also follow my collective at Black Noise, BLAQKNOIZ.
Black Noise.
Black Noise. Shout out to them.
Time.
Yes, sir.
You go ahead. You about to say something?
No, I was gonna say like I said, we got a couple of tracks coming out. One produced by this dude from France, named El Tiego.
And did Jack the thought plug you in on that?
He did.
Yep.
He did. Yeah, Jack got a couple of tracks produced by him as well. And then we have another track. It's a conscious track.
Ooh.
It's a conscious trap. And it's a feel-good song.
Feel good.
It's called Hakuna Matata.
And
we're dropping it the day that the Lion King movie comes out. So the day the Lion King movie comes out, we're dropping that track.
Peep that.
So that's coming out as well. And then, catch us performing if you want. Follow our page to, see when we're performing and where we're performing next. And thank y'all.
No, man, thank you for being on here with us and dropping all those gems. I'm excited for this to be released. You can find me at New Age Athletics for all fitness and personal, training type of stuff, or I am New Age Takeover for all my music type of stuff. And Vector, go ahead and sign us off, man.
All right. And of course, you can find us at Untapped Hip Hop through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And then, of course, I know I said it in a few episodes, but be on the lookout for KOS Instagram. That's coming soon. On that, thank you for tuning in and peace.